Hey Sagittarius, and welcome to your monthly tarot reading. So this is for August 2023. Whoa! There's no way you guys did not hear that thunderclap. So this is for August 2023. I love that. I love doing readings and things of this nature in a good storm. All right, actually, I'm gonna shuffle again. I'm just feeling like I got distracted. Let me refocus. I'm totally not editing this out. All right, so this is for August 2023 for my Sagittarius rising or sun signs. This of the tarot videos that I put out monthly, this is more of the extended reading. So we're going to look at how the month unfolds, beginning, middle, end of the month, and also be taking a look at what challenge is coming up and what kind of advice is coming through for you to help you through navigating the month. Also, the astrological highlights video for the first half of August is already up. So you can go check that out either on my channel in the playlist for astrological highlights, or it'll be at the end of this video. I'll have that so that you can just like click on over and check that out. It's timestamped, so you can, it's a lengthy video, so that way you can skip around to whichever date you like, or you can just like keep coming back throughout, the first half of the month and like check out certain dates or whatever. So let's see what's going on here. Also, we're starting off the month. I was feeling that card. We're starting off the month with the full moon in Aquarius in tropical astrology. And that means that because I do the bi-weekly-ish videos that go from full to new moon or new to full moon, that those videos will also be out. And those videos are shorter. Oh, I'm feeling this card. Those videos are shorter, bite-sized videos. So they're meant to be like 5-6 minutes on average, and they're meant to just kind of like help guide through either the waxing or the waning phase of the moon, just to give a little insight about that, how you can take advantage of, like, best utilize the energy of that particular moon phase for those 2 weeks, for that 2-week period of time. So you can definitely watch it in conjunction with this to get a sense of like, this would be the big picture and that would be, kind of like more micro. I so love that there's just a storm raging outside right now. Oh, it's my favorite. All right. Okay. And let's also just kind of check out what kind of challenge we have coming through here for my Sagittarians. Oops. Sometimes my cards fly out because this is a long deck. See what I mean? I'm so not editing this out. I'm not gonna edit that out. Let me concentrate for a moment. Okay, and also, oh, interesting. All right, and some spiritual advice. Well, I'm digging spiritual advice for you, Sag. So this is an interesting reading that we have showing up here. It feels like it almost matches the mood of the storm outside. So anyway, lots of content to consume in this like very first, like on the first of the month, astrological highlights, the overall monthly videos, plus the bi-weeklies that go from full to new moon, right? So, all right. So let's check it out. We have the 4th house that's showing up as far as, and remember these are collective readings, right? So let's just like keep that in mind. I pull these cards for what area of life we can kind of see as being pulled into focus so that we can try to focus this reading a bit more. But if while I'm reading and we're talking about things, you're just like, oh, that doesn't really feel like it's 4th house topics for me. It feels more like my relationship or my career. Apply it to like what that is. Obviously it's not going to hit for every single Sag every single month. And so you want to make sure that you are, just taking that into account. If this is your sun sign, go watch your rising sign. I mean, really, honestly, if you want like specificity and like what it is exactly for you to be like dead on, 1-to-1 readings are always going to be best. I am taking bookings for that. I have like 30, 60, and 90-minute readings. That's in the description box below. So 4th house, we're looking at home. This is your internal world. This is like that emotional internal state. Your most like, these are the sensitive spaces in your internal like world, your more sensitive thoughts, your emotions for sure, how you feel safe and secure in the world, in your sanctuary, your physical home in the world as well. well, like what that is. So it can have to do with family, especially like around parents, if that is of something that is coming through for you that resonates. So it can represent those particular familial figures. But this is also like a part of what comes through in our younger childhood. So if this feels like it kind of goes back and touches on themes that go back that far, then keep that in mind. So what we have showing up is the Chariot, Justice, and the Six of Coins. Well, this is interesting. And then we have the Seven of Swords for a challenge. What a challenge. And then we have the Sun coming up for your spiritual advice or divinatory advice, whatever, however you'd like to phrase that. So we'll start off with the Chariot. At the beginning of the month, it's just like, this is really pointing to getting into alignment with yourself. You know, is what you say, what you think, what you say, what you feel, what you do in alignment, and also on a higher level, on a more, we could call it spiritual note, cosmic note, however, whatever you call the greater something that you believe in that is a force in the universe, whatever you want to call it. But how are you connected with your higher self? And how is that kind of filtering down into all the areas of your life to make sure that you're in alignment? If you're really looking to have that motivation, that, momentum is the word I was looking for. If you're looking to have that momentum driving you forward and really being able to make some headway on the path that you've chosen to go on and move forward in, because this is about forward movement, right? And so if this is what is up for you and what you're wanting in your life, first of all, we're in a retrograde with Venus. So that does slow things down a bit. You know, also like what Saturn's up to is slowing down things a little bit right now as well. We're going to have Mercury going retrograde also at the end of the month. So both Mercury and Venus will be retrograde at the same time at the end of the month. So that does slow things down a bit. However, you can still have momentum that's building and a clear path forward. It's like the difference between having a bunch of like larger rocks that make it like really bumpy and very unstable and maybe not so clear and having to zigzag versus having a clear line of sight and a clear like flat path to just like really take off and go forward. And that happens when you're in alignment with yourself. So you really need to kind of check in with yourself. This would be an optimal time to do that, I would definitely say, because of Venus being retrograde and this being a time where, you know, this is the optimal time to ask yourself, like, what are my values? Are my values still the same? Like to reevaluate your values. It's funny to say. But in fact that, you know, is that the same? Are you headed in a direction that feels aligned with your values? Are the people that you interact with, that you have conversations with, that you spend your time, energy, attention on or with, are those connections feeling like they are harmonious with the values that you're choosing to say that you are aligned with? And if you are aligned with those values, or once you discern what those are the actions that you take, are the things that you do aligned with that? Or are you acting outside of your values? Because then there's an incongruency that's going to slow you down and kind of make things wonky and come out sideways. So you want to make sure to get on the same page, get everything on the same page. So that's what's coming up at the beginning of the month. Then in the middle of the month, we have the Justice card, more of this staying true to yourself vibe. You know, I'm really kind of digging this, and also just like, whew, this is it feels like some checks, right? Like getting checked or checking yourself, essentially. The Justice card certainly is about how we are staying true to ourselves, you know? So do you know the truth of what's true to yourself? Are you being honest with yourself about how you feel, what you want, what is so for you? And are you honoring that and in integrity, in congruence with what it is that is truthful for you? And so there's also, you know, there's something about the Justice card, you know, it's a Libra card. It's ruled by Libra, which is also ruled by Venus. So we see a pattern happening here. I definitely feel like there is a pattern forming here. And, you know, with this, we can say that, yeah, it has to do, the justice scales have to do with balance and fairness, right? And is there is there balance, is there fairness in the way that you are not only honoring yourself, but honoring yourself in the world and honoring others in that interaction as well, honoring where people are at, honoring where you are, and being able to handle that in a way that is diplomatic, graceful, we could say, but diplomatic. And so So that's what's coming up, and I find it interesting because this could be very much relational. Yes, this could have to do with like home, parents, like things like that. But I'm getting the sense that for you guys, this has more to do with, for a lot of you, it's like I'm feeling this has more to do with like your inner emotional world, like those more sensitive places in your life, those internal aspects, because it feels like these are up for evaluation and they're getting called into play here. And so that's how it's really coming forward and feeling for me. So then what do we have here? It's funny. Did I notice this? Anyway, the Six of Coins. So we've got the Six of Coins showing up. Talk about reciprocation. Talk about the balance and the give and take and the honoring of yourself and the honoring of others. You know, Six of Coins asks, like, are you in situations with anybody in particular or people in multiple people where there is an imbalance in the give and take? And when I say the give and take, yes, that can be financial. So that's one, but that's one of many things. I mean, you know, we see the coins, it's the earth suit. So obviously, yes, it can be about that. However, this is all about how we spend our time, energy, and attention. Who are we giving our time, energy, and attention to? Or how is that being like reciprocated, right? And is like, are you overextending yourself? So in one sense, you could be on either side of the coin. Coins. You could be on either side of the coin, right? So if you are in the position where you are just like kind of taking and receiving, and you're really not making the effort to expend any or extend any time, energy, attention, or finances in the other direction to try to balance that out, like even if it's not like somebody might be giving of themselves in a way that's generous financially, but are you then also giving of your time or something of value to the connection or to this person in trade, for instance, as one example, you know? Or are you on the other side of this where you are the one who is out of balance with the way that you're overextending yourself and you're just like over giving of your money, time, energy, attention with anybody in your life? How is that serving you? It's not, right? It's like, so these are detrimental positions to be in on either end of like the spectrum, right? This polarity. And so this is up for question. And, you know, at the end of the month, the last part of the month, like I said, we're going to have Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde at the same time. So it's not like the best astrology. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. You know, so there's definitely going to be a lot of probably like up for review, really like considering and reconsidering and reviewing and maybe deciding like how you would like to proceed. This might bring up, you know, conversations that you need to have or boundaries that you need to set, or just like how you need to withdraw your energy some and not be so readily available in certain ways, you know? So this is definitely, I think, a potent month for you. I think it's a good time to really take into, like, there's just like so much around alignment, staying true to yourself. Are things balanced with yourself and others? So this could have to do with family. Yes, it could have to, I feel like this is more emotional though, and having to do with interactions with other people or maybe a specific person. And of course, like we have the Seven of Swords coming up as the challenge. You know, and the Seven of Swords is, yes, it's known for being that card that is deceitful, thieving, you know, manipulative, you know, kind of like those types of qualities, right? And so this isn't for you to like take this and run with it and be like, somebody on the other side is being like this deceitful liar. I actually was more feeling like, because I knew that this was coming up, and I was more feeling this when I was like talking about these cards here. And I have to say, like, this, what comes to me is, are you lying to yourself? Like, are you being brutally honest with yourself? You know, even if no one else got to read your like most private of private thoughts, are you at least putting your thoughts on paper somewhere where you're being honest with yourself, or at least having conversations with yourself where you're admitting to yourself how it is that you really feel about certain projects or people or directions in your life, how you feel about your overall like values and yourself and how you're interacting with your world? Are you lying to yourself and not really being honest? It's just like, it's such an insidious thing because it can come through in these really small ways where we start to tell ourselves these like micro lies, and eventually we start to kind of not, I don't think it's intentional. I really think that it's just something that can snowball and be out of control, where we start to mask ourselves from being able to see how we really feel, because maybe what we think we want or what we think needs to happen or should happen, or a direction, a path that we decided on, it's like, I've already gone this far, and so we're not being honest with ourselves. Like, maybe that path isn't the path anymore. Maybe that project is not the one that to continue with. Maybe you scrap that project and like start a new version of it. Like, bring certain elements in, let the rest go, right? Like, so perhaps this is like, unless you're honest with yourself about that, you could be just like traversing this path for an infinite amount of time, and it's not going to be in alignment, and it's not going to be like result in the kind of experiences in life that you want to have, because it's based on half-truths or less than half-truths, because you weren't willing to be honest with yourself about what is or isn't working for you. So I think this is really more directed at the self. The spiritual guidance that comes through, I love it. It's the sun, you know, and like, if anything, the sun like really reminds me of this radiant source of vitality and warmth, like a warm golden glow, right? So it reminds me of like the picture that is usually on the sun card is like this child that is naked on a horse in the sun with sunflowers on, looks like maybe a summery day or spring day. And it's just like, there's this freedom. There is this remembrance of what it's like to just enjoy life. Like, remember that it's not all adulting all the time. It doesn't have to be. I don't care if you're 67 or you are 23, whatever age you are, it's like it doesn't have to be all adulting all of the time. Like, let's remember what it feels like to be that free, to be unencumbered by the responsibilities that we have in our life, by what we put on ourselves, by what we perceive the society puts on us, and what we are trying to be accountable to and for. There is a time for that. And I think it's just as important for us to get out into nature or go dancing, or like, you know, lose yourself on the dance floor, or do whatever it is that you do. Just lay back on a porch and watch the clouds go by for like an hour, and just let yourself have the freedom to just daydream and think about whatever. Like, these are the moments that I think refuel us and revitalize us and bring us, like, kind of almost breathe life back into us, so that we can have the endurance and stamina to keep going, right? So that we're revitalized, so that we are re-energized, so that we feel our vital force and our will, right? And so I think that a lot of it comes from this place of feeling into that type of energy, and even some playfulness in life. But there's a simplicity, and there's an innocence and a curiosity and a sense of wonder and awe about the world. And I feel like that break from responsibilities and adulting is what is a real gift here. And so I see that you are getting the reminder to step into that space. And I just really want to encourage that. So lots to think about here, Sagittarius. Hopefully this felt really helpful for you. If it has, please consider giving the video a like. It helps me with the algorithm gods, so that I can be more far-reaching and start to really build this channel. Also, while you're at it, why not subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos that are coming out. Remember, if it's not already up on the screen, I will have the astrological highlights video for the first half of August. And also remember that those videos are also going to be out on the same day of the full moon to the new moon, those shorter kind of bite-sized videos as well. So thanks for your time. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.